It is a Wednesday evening. This is Pastor Matt at Memphis Metro Church. And let me welcome you to Midweek Encounter. It's been a couple of weeks, few weeks since we've had Wednesday opportunity together. But I do not want to miss this moment as we are on the outside of this holiday, obviously during this holiday week of Thanksgiving. But I am excited to be able to just share a few minutes with you. And so, if you are if you are able to jump into the chat and just give us a real quick greeting, I would greatly appreciate that. And so, there's somebody. Hey there, Karen. And so, others you will be jumping in. Lola, good to see you. I'm not going to take a lot of time here, but I just want to posture our thinking. I want to posture our thinking. Hey there, Cherie. I want to posture our thinking going into what we call Thanksgiving, the day that we call Thanksgiving Day. I want to posture our thinking going into what we call Thanksgiving Day. And so we've been talking about time, and the series is in fact labeled that it's about time. And so I suggested very early on in the series that much of what that means to us when we say it's about time has historically meant that we were waiting on something. And now, whatever it was we were waiting on has now arrived. Right? So, historically, when we have said that it's about time, we were suggesting that we were ready for something and that thing has now come along. Either something felt like it may have been late or overextended, but our response sometimes suggests that, well, it's about time. Do I have that right? Let me know if I got that right. How many of you thought that, felt that, said that, experienced that? Do we have witnesses here? The likelihood is yes, because in so many instances, we will feel like there are some things overdue for us. Type in the word overdue, 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 overdue. We just think they're overdue. And so here's the thing. Let's put that first slide up, Brianna. And I want everybody to capture this because we're closing this series out. We got some other stuff happening, getting ready to start in December. And I want you to be in the right state of mind, right? And so here's part of the premise of this series. Time is most reflected in who and in what you choose to have a relationship with. Time is reflected in what you choose to spend your time with. And so everything you spend time with, this is my theory, everything you spend time with shows up in your life. If you spend time with time, what happens? What somebody said, what do we get when you spend time with time? Somebody give me a real good guess what they think is the outcome of that. When you spend time with time, I've suggested that when you spend time with knowledge, you get intelligence. When you spend time with knowledge and wisdom, you get maturity, right? When you spend time with grief or loss, you get grief, right? when you spend time with, um, I gave you a whole list of them on Sunday, and I want those to essentially become part of the way that you evaluate how you sometimes suggest that you are tested by time, or like time coupled with faith is destiny, right? So what happens when you get time with time? When you put time with time? Mhm. When you get time, when you spend time with time, you you get the aging process. You get older. When you spend time with time, you get older. That's those two things. When you put those two things together, a short time with a long time, you end up getting older. And so here it is. We are at the end of almost at the end of 2025, and you have spent 11 months this year. You've had time over the last 11 months. And so I want to be intentional here about some axioms that I want to give you tonight, because time is going to be reflected in who and in what you choose to have a relationship with. So time spent with worry is anxiety. Somebody put that in the chat for me. And so Jesus was talking about this in Matthew chapter 6. And he says, don't worry. Just like it takes away from your time. And so I've been making a distinction not to just to take time to do things, but to make time to do things. That gives us our creative ability back when we make time. We don't have to steal from time. We just have to make time. And so part of our confession needs to be that we will have time to carry out mission, purpose, and vision. Let me talk to you. You need the time to carry out mission, purpose, and vision, the mission that God has for your life, the purpose that God has for your life, and the vision that God has for your life. That's what you need time for. You don't need time to relax and time. I mean, so you can make time for um, time with recovery generally equals rest, right? When you decide to recover, some of us we go to sleep but we don't rest. Some of us, try to travel and go on vacation, but we don't really rest. And so time spent with recovery is rest. Somebody put that in the chat for me. And so I just want you to be thinking about this. Time, I'm gonna give you an axiom for this is really for you to get ready for next year, right? Time spent with your thoughts. What would that produce? Any ideas? Anybody got any ideas? Time spent with your thoughts. So somebody type that in. Time spent with your thoughts, and then put question marks after it. Hmm. I'm going to come back and answer that because I'm not going to be here long. Time spent with thoughts. It could be. It could be overthinking. Yeah, it could be. Yeah. Anybody else? That's a great response, Brianna. Time spent with thoughts. Okay, I'll come back to it. I'll close with it more than likely. But so tomorrow is the day that we call Thanksgiving. Yeah, and so I don't want you to get away from this idea um, that we as a nation have isolated a day, and quite honestly, that day was embedded in the midst of a people who weren't prepared to handle the pilgrims. And so we call it Thanksgiving, um, but there was some less than honorable things happening with regard to that moment. And so I want to suggest to you that moments, time, and moments spent with gratitude equal Thanksgiving. So tomorrow's not Thanksgiving. And we can call it that as a nation. We can call it that. We can, subscribe to the idea of holidays but but the truth of the matter is time spent and time coupled with gratitude. Somebody put that in the chat for me. Time coupled or spent with gratitude is Thanksgiving. And so to this evening, as we, because the event is the meal, right? The event tomorrow is the meal. That's what it is, right? People come from all parts of the country to join together, be with family, be with friends. They made it an official word in the English language. Friendsgiving. Like that's a real thing, right? And so it's about people getting together to celebrate and appreciate, but it's centered around a meal. Now, I don't want to undermine that because Jesus did some of his most important ministry around meals, right? Around people eating, right? Two fishes, five loaves of bread, right? And he fed over 5,000 people. But he spent time in a thought before he decided to disperse. And so some of what's going to happen for you in 2026, you got to acknowledge and spend time with gratitude. And that gratitude becomes an outlet for you to reproduce whatever comes to your hands. Let me say it one more time. The time spent with gratitude gives you an opportunity to reproduce whatever God puts in your hands. And so remember when Jesus took the two loaves, or the two fishes and the five loaves, he looked up to heaven and what did he do? He gave thanks. And some of us don't see our next because we haven't experienced our present. Can I say it one more time? Some of us can't see our next. We can't see the replication, the duplication, the abundance, the supply because we haven't spent time in our present. And I want you to spend time in your present this evening, tomorrow. Really, tomorrow is not even our present. Like that's Tomorrow's not here yet, but the attitude towards tomorrow and in this moment, the attitude is gratitude. Y'all put some comments in the chat. Help me out on this. Are y'all getting what I'm saying here? Jesus, he took the bread. So at the Last Supper, right? He took the bread. This is around a meal, and he broke it, and he passes it out. Thanksgiving is really about receiving in order to give. Thanksgiving is really about receiving in order to give. And so I am in full throttle wanting you to prepare for 2026. But we have a moment right now to receive something. Receive, spend that time with gratitude in order for it to be thanks, and now I'm giving. Like, Father, I give you thanks, but I'm also giving. It's not just about giving him thanks, it's about giving out to the people around you. And when we see Jesus giving thanks, it's in order to distribute. And so we see generosity happening in, these moments of the year, Thanksgiving, we're giving canned goods and we're giving clothes and we're giving blankets, and December we're giving toys and we're all that. But the mindset is gratitude. Spend time with gratitude. It might feel bad right now, but spend time with gratitude, because the gratitude will produce thanksgiving. Thanks and giving. All right. So what was it when I asked y'all to think about time spent with thoughts? And so this one kind of has multiple answers. Time spent with thoughts. Time spent with thoughts. Somebody put it back in the chat for me. And so Brianna said overthinking. Yeah. I think time spent with anxiety is overthinking. I have to sneeze, I think. Time spent with dust particles produces sneezing. um, and so I'm going to tell everybody to go back and watch this. And there it is. Time spent with dust in your nostrils. Yeah, sneezing. Okay, so time spent with thoughts. Okay, so time spent with thoughts. I want you to think of it in these terms. We're going to put all these together. Time spent with thoughts equals imagination. Hmm. Now unto him who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all we can ask or think. So, you like time spent with our thoughts is really imagination. Let me tell you what else it is after imagination. Time spent with thoughts generally becomes creation. Creation. So it's not just we're imagining it. Most of us, when we think about it, we start creating that world for ourselves. Whatever it is you put in that world, whatever it is you put in that thought, you start creating that world. When you spend time with it, that becomes your world. That becomes your life. And I know I'm talking to you because some of us have been fighting what to think about. We've been fighting what to think about. We're trying to take every thought and place it under the captivity of Christ. Your thoughts should belong to the kingdom. Your thoughts should belong to the kingdom. You should have kingdom imagination in order to do kingdom creation. You should have kingdom imagination in order to have kingdom creation. Somebody capture that for me. So time spent with thoughts. Time spent with thoughts, imagination, and creation. And so if you're spending your thoughts full of fear, you create a world full of it. But the best version of this, and this is connecting us back to our series on mental health, biblical approach to mental health. I asked you what time spent with thoughts. What is that? What's the result of it? Here's the ultimate result of what I think it is. As a man thinks in his heart, time spent with your thoughts produces the next version of you. Please put that in the chat. Time spent with your thoughts, not anybody else's thoughts, your thoughts. And so that's why you got to think and meditate on the word. Because this crazy world will talk you out of what you're called to be. That dilemma will talk you out of what you are called to be. And so you got to integrate, interface, download God's thoughts of you, and those become your thoughts. Because time spent with your thoughts is going to produce the next version of you. Not what the government says, and not what that other person said, not what your family says. Your thoughts are going to produce the next version of you. Now you can listen to them and you can make their thoughts your thoughts. You can listen to somebody that doesn't know the purpose and the calling and the destiny in your life. You can listen to them and make their thoughts your thoughts. But either way, when it becomes your thought, you're making a deposit into the next version of who you are. Why? Because as a man thinks in his heart, as he spends times with his heart and his thoughts, so he is. There's a future version of you waiting to know what it is you thought about you and how you responded to you. Henry Ford said that if you believe you can, if you believe you can't, you're right. It's up to you to decide which version you're going to believe. So, as we close, this moment is about Thanksgiving, spending time with gratitude. You know what I'm being specifically grateful for? The next version of me. Grateful for what I have been, but grateful for what I'm about to become. And I want you to have that same confession. Grateful for what you have been. Let's think about all these 11 months of ministry and opportunity and connection. You'll see AT in the chat. But I don't want you to miss this moment. Embrace when Jesus, from a little boy, Jesus said, bring me the stuff. Bring me the stuff. He looked toward heaven. This is a moment for us. The heavens are opening up, and I want you to get it in your heart. Receive that tonight. That the heavens are opening up, and you just find heaven. Look toward heaven, right? And as you look toward heaven, give thanks. Give thanks. That thanks turns into giving. If it's a real thanks, it will turn into giving. Until tomorrow is just not okay, we can call it Thanksgiving. But any moment you spend time with gratitude, you're in Thanksgiving. And so I wanted to share that with you this evening just for a few moments. Um, Brianna, put that scripture up right toward the end there, Joel 2. And so right toward, so verse 23, it says, "Be glad then, you children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God, for he has given you the former rain faithfully." Like God is setting up an appointment. He's setting up an appointment, and he will cause the rain to come down for you, the former rain and the latter rain. I want us to be in position, particularly after last Friday, for us to draw close to what has been prophesied over us and for us to walk therein. Like the heavens are getting ready to open up. That's what the rain means, right? Like the heavens are getting ready. Let's find heaven and let's talk to heaven. Let's talk to heaven. talk to the heavens. And so that moment of being around a meal, Jesus took the bread, he took the fish, and then he said, distribute. Just pass it out. Pass it out. And let me just tell you, there's going to be enough in you as a follower and as a disciple. Jesus did not do that work himself. He became the means through which it was multiplied. Stuff's not just going to happen in your life. You've got to be connected to him in order for it to multiply. He's got to be your source, right? He became the source for the abundance. He became the source for the surplus. He can take what you bring to him, and there can be thanks and giving. So, former rain, latter rain, there's an intersection getting ready to happen. An intersection and an overlap. An intersection and an overlap. An intersection and an overlap. And I don't want you to miss it. But let's have this. Time spent with gratitude is Thanksgiving. Time spent with your thoughts produces the next version of you. That's your creativity. That's your imagination. You're going to have it. You're going to have your thoughts. That's my time. I said 20 minutes and it's 32. Okay, that's what we do. That's what we do. All right. Listen, everybody, enjoy yourselves tomorrow. If you didn't get a chance to view this, I'm going to put it in the chat. If you didn't get a chance to view it, I'm going to type in the chat and tell everybody to come back and view this. Spend 25, 30 minutes just with an attitude and a disposition of gratitude, right? Let's take that posture. Anytime we spend with gratitude, it's Thanksgiving. Thank you so much. This has been on a Wednesday evening, right before a holiday. Memphis Metro Midweek Encounter with yours truly, Pastor Matt, bringing you ministry at the speed of life, fellowship, leadership, worship. Memphis Metro, we